Hi, my name is Fatima. I am an English instructor. I have been working for about 7 years. What is your name? What do you do? How long have you been working or studying? Asking questions is very important when you are learning and interacting with others. When you were asked WH questions, you need to reply with information. So, today I'm going to teach you about WH questions. What are WH questions? However, before we get started, you should make sure that you have already studied the previous lesson on making yes-no questions, since you can't proceed ahead without mastering how to make yes-no questions. Why? Because WH questions are exactly the same as yes-no questions, but you should put a WH word at the beginning of your question, and you need to answer with a piece of information, not just by saying yes or no. Again, what are WH questions? WH questions are questions starting with WH and H words. I'm going to show you a list of some WH words, their meaning, and examples. Have a look. The first WH word for today is who. Who is used to ask for a person. For example, who is your teacher? The next WH word is what. What is used to ask for information about things or non-human objects or actions. For example, what are they doing? Another WH word is when. When is used to ask for time. For example, when are you getting home? Another WH word is where. Where is used to ask for information about a place. For example, where did she go? The next WH word is why. Why is used for knowing the reason for something. For example, why do you learn English? Now, we come to the WH word which. Which is used to ask for options. For example, which book is better, the blue or the red one? The next WH word is whose. Whose is used when you are asking about the owner of something or who it belongs to. I mean, in a possessive case. For example, whose car is that? The next WH word does not start with WH. It is how. How is used when you want to know the way in which something is done or the manner. For example, how was your trip? Now, you should know that the word how is used together with another word to ask for quality or quantity, etc. Have a look at the following table. How many for countable. How many students are there? How much? Uncountable. How much sugar do you want? How often or how often? Frequency. How often do you visit your grandma? How old? Age. How old are you? How long? Duration. How long does it take? How far? Distance. How far is Nablus from Jenin? How deep? Depth. How deep is this pool? Our main focus will be on the words that start with WH word, and the first three hows, how many, how much, and how often. Now, let's practice more. Make WH questions for the underlined word or words. John is playing football. Of course, the underlined word here, football, will not be included in your question. Why? Simply because it is the answer of your question. Now, if you make yes-no question and you drop the underlined word, what will you get? We have John, the subject. Is belongs to the helping verbs, be verbs. What should you do? Switch. Yes, switch the subject and the helping verb. Is John playing? Right? Now, the word football is a thing or non-human. What WH word should you use? Yes, it is what. Now, put it at the beginning and a question mark at the end. What is John playing? The answer is football. You see, very easy if you understand the yes-no question lesson. Look at the previous cases again and study them all well. And then get back to this lesson. Another example. She can leave at 7:30. What WH word should you use? When, because we are asking about time. And there are two verbs in the sentence, can and leave. So, switch the subject and the first verb only. When can she leave? At 7:30. Another example. Susan visits her grandma every week. The WH word that should be used here is how often, because we are asking about frequency. How many times she visits her grandma? There is only one main verb in the sentence, which is present simple. And the subject here is singular. So, we need to derive the helping verb does, and then put the subject and change the verb into an infinitive form. The question is, how often does Susan visit her grandma? Every week. The next sentence is, that is Tom's car. Now, here we ask about possession. possessive case, Tom's car. So we need whose. But pay attention that you have to put a noun after the word whose, because we ask about a possessive case, possession. Put whose car at the beginning, then the verb is, then the subject that, and a question mark finally. Whose car is that? It's Tom's car, or Tom's car. Now look at this example. Elizabeth leaves school early every Sunday. Here we ask about the subject. Yes, it is who. Write down this note if you like. The note says, when you ask about a subject, use who for a person or human, and use what for non-human. Don't use do, does, or did. Just copy the sentence as it is and use the verb as if the subject is singular. The example again. Elizabeth leaves school early every Sunday. What WH word should you use? Who, because Elizabeth is a person and it is the subject. So, don't use does. Write who and copy the sentence. Who leaves school early every Sunday? That's it. Another example. Lions like to eat flesh. Here we ask about lions. So we should use what? Because lions are non-human. We say that we should use the verb as if the subject is singular. So we have to add an S to the verb like. So the question is, what likes to eat flesh? Because we do not know the answer, whether it is singular or plural, so we put an S to the verb. Now look at this example. John helps Amy. The underlined word is Amy. What should we use? Yes, who, because it is a human being. Now, do we ask about a subject? Is the underlined word a subject? Look at the sentence. No, we ask about something else, but not a subject. Therefore, we have to use do, does, or did when we do not ask about a subject and there is only one main verb in the sentence, right? So, John helps Amy. Put who at the beginning because we ask about a person. The subject is John and the verb is helps, a present simple verb that needs does. Who does John help? The answer is Amy. Now, you can also use whom because we ask about an object, not a subject, a human object, I mean. But not to complicate things for you, dear learners, it is fine just now to use who, which is informal here, but universally fine. Now, you have to write down some questions for the following. 1. Lack of oxygen causes death. Yes. What causes death? The subject is lack of oxygen, and it is non-human. So, we put what and copy the sentence, and that's it. 2. The teacher lives in Nablus. Where does the teacher live? Exactly. In Nablus refers to a place. We use where. The subject here is the teacher, and there is only one main verb, which is in the present simple, lives. So, we need to derive does plus the subject plus the infinitive form of lives, which is live. 3. They will do the assignment next week. The correct answer is, when will they do the assignment? Next week here refers to a time. So, when is used. The subject is they. And there are two verbs in the sentence, which are will and do. So, switch the subject and the first verb to get, when will they do the assignment? I hope you get it right, dear learners. Again, I recommend to get back to the lesson on yes/no questions, because you have most of the details there. In case you have any difficulties in understanding this lesson, making WH questions. Otherwise, you are great, and now you can write different kinds of questions. Congratulations! Have a nice day and goodbye!